because Bryce Young fucking sucks. And if you don't know that, I'm here to tell you something, brother. Bryce Young is awful. All right, if you see Bryce on the spread, you run the other way and you run fast, man. What is up, football fans? We have for you guys, another episode of Lumia Sports. We're going to do a preview podcast. My name's Lumia. I'm joined by Tony El Tigre.
What's poppin'?
Yeah, you're supposed to say something there, but this is our second time doing it, so I didn't tell you that I was going to do an intro. Didn't lead you in, but I got you now.
All right, there we go.
We're going to learn as we go. Last week, we previewed all the games. That is posted up on the YouTube. I went 7-8, losing you only a little bit of cash, and Tony L. Tiger made you some money at 9-6. So,
oh wow,
yeah,
I had no idea.
It's crazy, right? Very.
I don't know why the fuck you picked the Ravens.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna win.
I don't know why.
They almost did.
Yeah, they almost do a lot of things.
They beat them 40-13 in the regular season last year, man.
Yeah, then
that's what happened.
And the playoffs came.
Then the playoffs came, but this wasn't the playoffs.
Yeah,
it was week 1 of the regular season. That's why I thought that you guys could win, because you're a regular season team.
We're a regular season team that also blows big reliefs in the regular season as well.
That's true. I didn't say I was watching the game thinking that the game was over. I thought before the game you would have won, and I think if the Bills had converted that 2-point conversion, I still think you win, because you would have gone down and at least tried to kick a field goal, and Justin Tucker isn't there to miss it. So if you did, but you don't do smart things. So I'm not going to play the what if game. I picked the wrong team. It happens.
Yeah.
Why did you fucking say that the Colts were the Dolphins were the lock of the year?
No, I'm never picking the Dolphins again.
All right.
I'm letting you know that right now.
Yeah, me neither.
Never.
Not now, not never.
Not this season.
Yeah.
Not until I see some changes in that organization. If that organization is running as currently structured, they will not be getting a pick from me. They can go fucking 16-1, and I will not be picking them.
You're done?
Not
You're
after
out.
that. They lost to the Colts.
You don't know. The Colts might be good.
They lost to the Colts, bro.
Colts might be good.
I'm not picking the Dolphins.
Understood. Let's get into it. So our first game is going to be Commanders-Packers. In this game, the Packers are 3.5-point favorites. Both teams got a win in week 1, with the Packers beating the Lions 27-13. The Commanders beating the Giants 21-6. Let's start with Tony L. Tigre. Tony, who do you got in this game?
I think I'm going to go with Washington. I mean, Washington they played the Giants and they didn't do too much, but one big thing that I saw from Green Bay was getting a lot of pressure on Detroit, and obviously Jared Goff is a bit of a statue, so it's a little easier to get pressure on him. But one thing we know about Jaden Daniels is that man is elusive, and I don't think the pass rush is going to be quite as effective against him. And one thing we know about Jordan Love is that man is going to throw the ball. It's going to go some fucking where. It might go to his, teammate. It might go to the other team. It might go to the fans. That ball is just going to go at minimum 30 yards past the line of scrimmage. So, with the reckless play style, I think that the Commanders will be able to, hold it in and come out with the victory. And, well, if they win, then they already cover the spread. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Commanders.
For me, it's very interesting. The Packers, I think we know that they're very good because they beat the Lions. But then again, the Lions lost both of their coordinators. So there's still a lot of mystery going on with everything right now. And the Commanders, they made a lot of additions where they added to their defense and they added Deebo Samuel. We don't know if any of that matters, because one thing we do know is that the Giants suck.
Yes.
All that being said, I think that quarterback wins are a thing. I think Jaden Daniel is better than Jordan Love, even though I honestly think the rest of the Packers team is probably better than the Commanders team, and they're at home. I think I'd give coaching. I'd have to go Dan Quinn. LaFleur made some conference chips too. He's never made a Super Bowl. So that's close. I got to go back to Sunday. And Sunday there were times where I felt dumb. If I'm watching the game and I watch Jordan Love throw 2 picks and I'm like, I picked the Packers and I picked Jaden Daniels to lose to Jordan Love, I would feel really stupid. Especially knowing how stupid Jordan Love can play. He didn't do it in game 1, but also in game 1, that Lions team is missing everything from last year, I guess, except Aiden Hutchinson. Even just purely from a schematic standpoint. So I'm gonna go Jaden because 3.5 is a lot too. That's even saying it's a close game. Jordan Love has a field goal drive, and you still lose if you pick the Packers. I know they beat up on the Lions, but I think that Jaden's better than Goff because of that mobility that you talked about. That's why the Giants were pressuring him, and they got there a couple of times, but they didn't overwhelm him. And there's even a funny clip with Abdul Carter kind of rushing him slowly and not fully rushing him.
I saw that.
Because, and I'm reading the comments, and part of it is, well, he could easily just spin away from that. So you kind of gotta just
can't fully commit.
You
to the
can't
sack
fully commit. Exactly.
If he runs away, then now you're just on the ground and out the play completely.
Exactly, 100%. I'm taking Jaden Daniels and the Commanders in this one, mainly because I don't want to go down 3 picking Jordan Love. So that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Ravens, Browns. In this game, the Browns, we obviously know what happens. Anytime I say their name now, I just have to chuckle because their fans have proven an untrollability. Shout out Darnell Jones, that I didn't think was possible. They lose a game that for me would be horrifying, fire everyone fashion, and they just shrug it off and keep it moving. Although I do think for the players in the locker room to be in there, and now you're minus 11 to the Ravens, you lose a game that you kind of got to win against the Bengals. In my opinion, I thought they were going to win the game. I guess we won the spread on that. We did because the Bengals were favored, but still. I just think that was devastating. And they're on the road. And the Ravens are going to be mad. And of all the teams that cannot come from behind, once they get down that 21, I think the Browns are one of those teams. I think the Ravens smoked them by more than 11. And we're going to go QB wins. We're going to stick with the pattern. Lamar Jackson way better than Flacco. That's why one got replaced for the other. Lamar, he struggles at times against the Browns, but they also have Derrick Henry now. I just think they have too much firepower. Gosh, that Ravens defense might be trash, but the Browns can't catch the football or kick. So based on those two things, I got to go with the Ravens minus 11. It's a huge spread. Really is. But I think I'm going to look up, and the Ravens are going to be up 21. And I'm just going to hope that they hang on to that lead. At least don't let them come all the way back. Maybe beat them by 30. Make a statement, you know? And I think I already know where Tony's going. I just got to win these. We just got to win these. So,
yeah, you have your philosophy with quarterback wins, and I have my philosophy with divisional matchups. And I don't believe in picking a divisional matchup to be a 2-score game, let alone, a 1-score game. So I'm definitely going to be going with the Browns here. Now, does that mean I think the Ravens are going to lose? No, I don't think they're going to lose to the Browns. But do I think they're going to beat them by over 11 points? Nah, I don't think that. I think the Browns are going to come out there. They have some good defense, and, The offensive firepower isn't there, but it's always a competitive game against them. I mean, I think we had the one game we kind of watched them last year, but the other game, it was a close game. So one of the two games are going to be close at least, if not both of them. And again, I have my philosophy with divisional matchups, and I'm going to stick with it.
We're going to see. I think y'all smoke them, but I thought that last week.
And look, we might.
I was wrong.
I would just like for us to win the game, personally.
Nah, you can't win the game. You got to smoke them.
Nah, I'm okay with not smoking them.
You got to smoke them or else you might not win the game. So you got to. Especially after what happened last week, I think that's really going to be their philosophy is you can't take the foot off the gas, specifically this week.
Well, that's definitely what the philosophy should have been in the final stretch. That's what, like, watching it happen, I was like, we can't play to not lose. We have to play to win. We played to not lose, and then we lost. So,
I think they learned that lesson this week. For a week. In week 2 against the Browns. I don't think they learned in the postseason, but I think week 2 against the Browns, they got it in the bag.
We'll see.
Next one up, Jags at Cincinnati, -3.5 for the Bengals. You have the Jags, Trevor Lawrence. They went out and they beat Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers 26-10. And the other side, Joe Burrow and the Bengals struggled, like we just talked about, in beating the Browns 17-16. But they did get a Week 1 win, a rarity for. I think that might be the first time they ever did it.
In the Burrow era?
Yeah, I believe so. Maybe one other one, but they are historically bad in those situations. And we honestly thought they were going to lose that game. So, Tony, who you got? Jags, Bengals.
So, the Jaguars just played the Panthers. Now, the Panthers are a pretty bad team, so I don't really know where the defense is for the Jaguars. I mean, obviously, they got a couple picks from Bryce Young, but Bryce Young just kind of gifted it to him. It wasn't quite like a, wow, look at that defensive play. It was like, wow, this dude fucking blows. So, when you look at it that way, I don't think Joe Burrow is going to give them that same love. And do I think Trevor is going to capitalize against the Bengals defense? Now, ETN had a really good game.
150 yards.
Last game. And if he's able to keep that up, then that'll be able to keep the Jaguars within the game. But I'm going to ultimately wind up going with, I just don't know how good the Jaguars defense is. And if both defenses are bad, I'm going to go with the better offense, which is the Bengals. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati here.
Very bummed you did that. I'm also going Bengals, obviously. I'm a quarterback wins guy. Joe Burrow, even though it was ugly last week, he won the game, and now he's playing a dude who I think is a kind of a goofy guy, and Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence was doing some silly stuff last week. He was just playing a sillier guy. I think that now the Jags do have a new coach who was the offense coordinator for the Buccaneers, Liam Cohen. That's going to be a big impact. He got ETN those 150 rushing yards. The running game seemed to be back. They're so good running the ball. They said, we don't even need Tank Bigsby. You can just leave. But there were still plays left out on the field from Trevor Lawrence where he's missing Brian Thomas. People are like, why are you not throwing Brian the ball? Because he's Trevor Lawrence, dude. That's why.
Well, he was throwing it to him last year. So.
That was Mac Jones a lot. I ultimately think that Burrow, Chase, I think that what happened to them last week, to Myles Garrett, I don't think the Jags quite have a force like that, or a team that plays them, has played them twice a year. So I think Jamar Chase fantasy owners, you're up big. T. Higgins fantasy owners, you might be up a little bit. Chase Brown fantasy owners, I told you don't trust him. But he might get you something. And I think this is a week where you kind of see it, maybe not all the way come back, but I think enough to beat the Jags by over 3.5. And if it's close late, again, we don't think the Bengals forced those interceptions, but they did get 2 of them. And if it's close late, Trev will just give you one, man. He will. He'll give you, it could be early or late, actually. I shouldn't just say late. That implies that he's a choker. He's not a choker. He's just bad. So he can throw you an interception at any point in the game. The Bengals at least prove that they can catch the football on defense. So I got the Bengals 3.5. Take the points.
All right. So we've only differed on one so far.
Yeah. I'm going to write down these timestamps and our actual picks this time.
Good idea.
Yeah. Because I'm already kind of forgetting.
Well, we both
took the Commanders.
I took Cleveland. You took Baltimore. Yeah. And then we both took Cincinnati.
Perfect. Next up, Giants. After a dismal performance with Russell Wilson starting for no reason, for reasons that remain unclear.
And he is going to start again.
He will start again. They have confirmed it. Correct. Scoring only 6 points against the Commanders. They now take on Dak and the Cowboys in Dallas. They normally roll the Giants. Dallas is a 6-point favorite in this game after losing to the Eagles. Go Birds. Losing to the Eagles 24-20 on the road in game 1. Spitgate. You guys remember. I know it was a long time ago, but it was only 5 days ago. Crazy. We love football season. I got Dallas smoking these guys again because Russell Wilson starting. Not very complicated for me. I'm interested in Tony and his divisional take because this is 6 points, and if he's a divisional guy, he might just take the Giants. But I think that the Cowboys are going to win by 20. I think they're going to smoke them. They normally smoke them in this situation, even when they aren't good. Like last year, they beat them by 14. So, and makes me sick, but it's just the truth. Dak is a lot better than Russ. I mean, my God, Russ is awful right now. Dude just, he can't even throw it in the vicinity of completions. So, I mean, at least Dak can throw it close so CD can just drop the ball. Russ that thing is just everywhere, man. It's not everywhere. It's everywhere. It's either out of bounds, not close, because he doesn't want to throw picks for his career stats. He's still trying to get in the hall, sneak his way in numbers wise, or he'll just sit and take a sack. It's a lot of Russ plays. So I got Dallas going away and thinking that they did something by smoking this shit-ass Giants team.
Yeah, this is one of the few divisional games where...
Boo!
Hey, look.
Not a philosophy guy.
Hey, look. This is one of the few divisional games.
I think you understand what we're doing here with the philosophy.
I'm not just going to blindly pick. Just be like, all right, my philosophy says divisional, so I'm not just going to pick the Giants for no reason. But because, like... I'm looking at week 1. I'm looking at the games, and I don't know how bad the Eagles' defense is. I mean, Jalen Carter obviously didn't play throughout the game. The secondary didn't look too hot, but the secondary wasn't able to stop anything, and I don't believe that the Giants' secondary is much better. One thing about CeeDee Lamb, although he's going to drop every important pass, he's going to catch every non-important pass. So... against the Giants, a lot of those passes won't really matter down the stretch, and he's going to probably go for like 150 yards against the Giants because they suck and the game won't matter. So, and George Pickens will probably get some love. Yeah, just the Giants are just fucking ass. So, they played. Again, I don't know how good the Jaguars defense is. You said they got the Bucks' old defensive coordinator, and the Bucks defense wasn't amazing last year either. So,
You said who? The Dallas?
No, you said the Jags had got the Bucks' old
offensive coordinator. I don't even know why you went back to that game. I'm so confused.
Because the Giants just played the Jaguars.
No, they didn't. They played the Commanders.
The Giants played the Commanders. Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh. They lost to the Commanders 21-6.
Oh shit. Well, we don't know how good the Commanders defense is. I know they added a couple pieces, of course, but the Giants just weren't able to move the ball too much on them, and I think a large part in that was just how bad the offense can be. So I'm going to go with Dallas.
It's boring.
We'll get some exciting takes in there. Don't you worry, buddy.
It's a boring pick.
Hey, look, I'm not just going to watch CeeDee Lamb score fucking 2 touchdowns and 150 yards and then just to be on principle.
Awful.
They suck.
Bears, we just watched it Monday night.
Yeah. Another collapse.
The Bears we watched. Yeah, we watched the collapse. We watched them lose a big lead to the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy. Caleb Williams distraught, the crowd booing. Not a great scene on Monday Night Football for Caleb, pointing down on that. However, the Lions also pointing way down with the loss of both coordinators in Ben Johnson on offense and Aaron Glenn on defense. A lot of smart people like your boy Lumia had it thought that, hey, if you lose both of your coordinators, that's normally not a good sign, especially when your quarterback is a statue. And they end up losing to the Packers 27-13. And now they are playing against Ben Johnson, their old offensive coordinator. He's now on the Bears. Huge intrigue. Really big game for both these 0-1 teams with high expectations. The Lions are favored by 6 points. Tony the Tiger, who you got?
This isn't going to be a 6-point game. If the Lions are favored by 6, I'm going with Chicago. I think Chicago covers the spread. The Lions, now again, the Packers pass rush looked really good, and obviously they got Micah, they got Gary, and a bunch of other pieces, and they were highly touted as before the season started as being one of, if not the best defensive line in the game. So of course, Goff was getting pressured pretty heavily, and it wasn't quite the same. The Bears didn't have quite that same pressure going towards JJ McCarthy. But JJ McCarthy, as we saw, he had a little bit of motion to him. He has more motion than Goff is capable of. So I
know trees with more motion than Goff, bro. They just sway in the wind a little bit.
So the pass rush might be a little more effective against Goff, but it's just going to be a trying time for Detroit right now with their offense and defensive coordinators. And even though the Bears did lose in a collapsing game, they didn't get blown out. And right now, I can't say that the Lions look much better, if not better at all, than the Vikings. The Vikings did win a game, whereas the Lions only scored 6 in a loss. So I'm going to go with Chicago to at least cover the spread. That doesn't mean they win the game, but I don't think that if they lose, that they lose by more than 6 points.
Caleb last night definitely had moments where they couldn't move the ball, and around the second and third quarter, he was very inefficient throwing the football, throwing a lot of incompletions. Right, not keeping the chains moving, and all that being said, and they also got a pick 6, so you can include that.
Yeah.
All that being said, they still ended up with, I guess if you take out the pick 6, 17 points on a Brian Flores defense that was said to have improved in different areas. I think it was more of a defensive collapse. The Vikings scored 3 straight times.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Lions can do that right now as they currently stand. They have a guy, and hearing more about it, knowing now, this is the fun part as we get in this week 2. This is not just a guy. I'm learning more about the Lions offensive coordinator because now the whole national media is on it, and I'm just watching shows here and there. Apparently, he used to be a wide receivers coach for like the 49ers back in the day, like the Andy Reid, Bill Walsh era, but he never got the job. So this is his first offensive coordinator job, and he's like 50, and I'm not ageist. But the NFL right now is run by 30-year-olds. Sorry, it just is. 30 and like early 40-year-olds. Those are the guys winning. And Andy Reid. And Sean Payton here and there. Like all-time greats or like those guys. Give you an example of an older guy, Vic Fangio. He's been doing it, though, for 15 years. A first-time play caller at 50-something years old with a team that was run by this boy genius. I just think it's still gonna affect them. I think they even might win the game, but like you said, 6 is a lot. I think it's gonna be a tight game because that Lions team that was first in the league in offense, you're not gonna see them this year. Sorry, you're not. And even though Ben Johnson said you're not gonna see that Lions team with us over here either because of those concerns, I think Caleb is still just going to be able to do enough, specifically now against a Lions defense that also doesn't have Aaron Glenn and looked like Jordan Love was kind of doing whatever he wanted out there. I just think that the Bears are going to keep it close. I actually don't think they're even going to win this game. I think it's just going to be like 24-21, but I have the Bears too. I can't take the Lions to be anyone by over 6. I don't think that offense is going to be like that all year, and Jared Goff is slowly turning back into the Jared Goff that the Rams traded. Sorry to do that to you, Jared. But it's just the facts.
Yeah.
I like him. He's on quarterback. Cool show. Chill guy. But yeah. Then this is your stinker of the week. Is this the stinker of the week? There's one other candidate for stinker of the week, but this is up there. We have the Patriots versus the Dolphins. God. In Miami. In a game that you're only going to see if you have to watch it or if you're watching Red Zone and you see some. I don't even know if Red Zone's going to have a lot of plays from these teams because from what we saw from the Dolphins losing to the Colts 33-8, we don't know if they can block. And from what the Patriots showed us losing to the Raiders 2013, we don't know if Drake May is any good. All that being said, I unfortunately think Tua's brains are kind of scrambled. I just have to call it like it is. If the dude wants to play, he can play, but it's a component of that mixed with Mike McDaniel, mixed with them doing cartwheels in the offseason. They have a certain level of softness to them. That being said, the Patriots never win in warm weather in Miami, but I think the Dolphins are the worst team in the league. I truly believe that. Because you can't come out looking like that. And Jalen Waddle got banged up. A-Chain apparently had 7 rushes. Why does he only have 7 rushes? Nothing they did makes sense. Nothing they do makes a lot of sense right now. They can't block. They want to be a passing team, but they can't block anyone. And even though I think Drake May might not be that good, I just got to take them. I can't trust the Dolphins to do anything. They're a complete shit show.
Yeah, I said at the start of the show that until there is a change somewhere within the Dolphins organization, that I will not be picking them. I chose dysfunction, and I stood very proudly on dysfunction.
Yeah.
And I was let down.
On business.
Yeah, I was as let down as a letdown could be on my pick. You know, I'm not even a fan of this team, but I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
I picked y'all to win so heavily for y'all to lose by like 30. So after that, you know, and I don't think too much about the Colts team, and I don't think too much about the Patriots team, but you know what? I think that the Patriots are going to win the game.
It just feels like Mike McDaniel's about to get fired here.
And as he should.
As he should.
Should have got fired after Sunday night. Sorry.
Can't fire him week 1.
Nah, I would have fired him week 1. We can't lose to the Colts. We can't lose like that to the Colts.
Yeah.
We can't lose like that to the Colts.
Daniel Jones, 7 straight scoring possessions to start the game. NFL record for the century.
We can't lose like that to the Colts.
Yeah.
If it was the Bengals, if it was a team that had like offensive firepower or something like that, if it was like most other, I won't say any, but if it was like most other teams,
like a relevant team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colts, you're just,
you know, I would have been like
not extremely relevant.
Like, sure, you know, but no.
is an interesting one.
I honestly would have felt better if they lost to the Panthers that bad than the damn Colts.
That's crazy. It's a crazy comment. Next up, we have the 49ers going to the road to the Superdome to take on the Saints. The 49ers won their last game. Actually, dang, they put them in the 12th man, and then the dome is crazy. The Superdome is crazy.
Yeah.
But they did go out there. They beat Seattle on the road by 4 in a tough divisional win. Purdy, good and bad. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, but a game-winning touchdown, and then Sam Darnold fumbles the ball away. For the Saints, they ended up losing by 7 to Kyler Murray in week 1. Spencer Rattler was out there, had a chance to win, dropped passes, but for the most part, he did his job, which is to do nothing. Tony the Tiger, who you got?
What's the spread? You didn't say the spread.
4.5. Sorry, the spread is 4.5 for San Francisco.
Let's see. How much did the Saints lose?
George Kittle is also injured.
George Kittle is on IR, so he won't be playing for the next 4 weeks at least.
The Saints lost by 7 to the Cardinals, 20-13.
To the Cardinals. Let's see. Spencer Rattler doesn't really do anything. That might be to their help or their hurt, but I do think that the Cardinals defense, I don't think the Cardinals defense is quite that good.
You want to pick a team, dude?
I was going to let you finish the song.
No, I just want you to pick a team so I can pick a team so we can keep the episode going.
All right. But we got to give our reasoning. So I barely, but I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Okay.
I think the 49ers are going to win by like a touchdown.
Just pissed me off like you weren't going to go with the fucking 49ers. I'm going with the 49ers too. What the hell? You really acted like he wasn't going to do that. Like, of course you're going to fucking do that. You're going to pick the Saints? I made that mistake week 1, buddy. Never again. Never again. Kyler had diarrhea, went out there and took a shit on him. That's crazy, dude. That's insane. So, because Kyler had diarrhea, I'm not picking the Saints ever again, dude. You had the dumbest quarterback in the league, and he fucking was shitting his pants all game. And fucking, and you couldn't beat him. So, not even beat him, you couldn't cover the freaking spread because you missed a field goal. So, yeah, I'm out on the Saints. I wouldn't have picked them regardless for this game because Brock showed me that. Credit to Brock. He doesn't need any weapons. He just throws the ball. I don't know. And that's an impressive thing. Maybe it's because he played at Northern Iowa. So he's like, I already was throwing the scrub. So this is back to where he is. He's just going to throw that pass up. It might get picked. It might look like it's going to get picked. But he's throwing the ball. He's not going to do nothing. And Spencer Rattler will do nothing. And one thing I learned last week was you want a quarterback to do something rather than do nothing.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy will do just that.
Yeah. Spencer Rattler will do the most.
Kyler Murray did just that.
Spencer Rattler will do the most nothing that you may ever see.
Yeah.
A quarterback ever accomplish.
He's very blasé. He's getting them checks. Good job, Spence. It's tough to play like that, man. He's going to be a career
team that played like that last week won.
You know what he's going to be? A career backup. And that's okay with Spencer Rattler, you can tell. That's how he plays. That's how he really wants to be a disciplined quarterback.
Yeah, that man just cemented himself as a third string to teams all around the league.
Third is crazy. Spence wasn't a third stringer, man. He was.
That man's a third
That's
stringer,
crazy. He's not a third stringer, bro. Come on.
Do you think you can win a single game with Spencer Rattler?
They almost beat the Cardinals with Spencer. They've won games with Spencer Rattler. I don't think they're gonna win this game with Spencer Rattler. You want me to take a dump on Spencer Rattler, and Kyler Murray already did that. So I'm not gonna add on and pile on Spencer Rattler. I'm going to pile on other guys who are high drafted. Spencer Rattler's just there, dude. He wasn't. The Saints were like, oh, we like you. And he played South Carolina. He wasn't great then, and they just picked him up, and that's what happened.
Yeah, shout out to Spencer Rattler, man.
That's how you know.
The most existing quarterback.
That's how you know we're doing something different, man. We're digging deep on Spencer Rattler tape, and we watched a lot of Spencer Rattler because
I won't say we. I'll say he.
Who's he?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
I was watching. You were watching the games on Red Zone.
Oh, I thought you meant like his college days.
Oh no.
Listen,
I know who he is. With college with me, normally because I work Saturdays, I get glimpses. So I saw that he was on South Carolina and
he played on a team.
Yeah, and I know what team he played on.
You knew he was an existing player.
I know he existed,
just like he's existing now.
And the crazy thing is Spencer Rattler was a crazy high school prospect because of all the things he could do, the running, and he just took all that out of it. He just said, "I'm going to not turn the ball over."
Make the league.
He made it. He's starting. He's still starting for the Saints.
Who's their backup?
Their backup is Tyler Stroud, a second-round pick who is 26 years old. So shout out the Saints, man.
Yo, they could have just went and grabbed Shadur, bro.
They didn't want to.
Clearly.
They could have. But why do that when you can have Tyler Stroud and Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, instead the Browns were like, let's just grab 5 quarterbacks and see which one's going to work.
Yeah. None of them if you can't catch or kick. Clearly. That's what we're learning.
Oh, yeah, the 49ers also got rid of Jake Moody, speaking of can't kick, so that might help them down the stretch as well.
That is right. They let Jake Moody take a walk.
Yeah.
Don't know why he was even there at the beginning of this year. Kind of crazy that he actually wasn't cut last year in the middle of the year, but that's what the Ravens did with Chester. So.
Well, there was a different reason for that. We ain't just like cut him off the strength of cutting him. We were like, oh, you got allegations and you suck.
Yeah, took a lot. That's why Mark Andrews is still there. Yeah. Bills, Jets. The Bills came from behind, speaking of which, to beat said Ravens in a game that none of us thought was ever over, and that Chris Collinsworth was slobbering on Josh Allen the entire time. Either way, though, big win for them. The Bills 1-0. They are going to New York to play the Jets. Justin Fields looked great in week 1, but it still did not matter as the defense let up 34 points, and they lost to the Steelers 34-32. Tony, the spread is -6.5. Actually, did you do that? Did you do the last one? You did the last one, so I'll do this one. The spread is -6.5. The Jets have a new energy. They got a new vibe to them, you know? They can score. They can go out there. They covered the spread last week, and I knew I should have picked them. And Justin Fields is there, and he definitely seems like, man, you know? Like he's got a certain spark, that team energy. He's getting the ball to Garrett Wilson. Bryce Hall out there breaking off big runs. And I got the Bills easily winning this game by 6.5. I'm not taking the Jets or Justin Fields to do that, even though they're at home, because I just think that defense was bad against Aaron Rodgers, and that they were bad against Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they do anything with Josh Allen. Even though I think the Bills' defense was bad against the Ravens, it's still the Ravens. So maybe they can hold Bryce Hall to about 110 rushing yards, and that would be okay, and that'll give them a 7-point win. But I just think that they're going to get out to a nice lead and dominate the FC East like they normally do. Tony El Tigre, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Jets.
Whoa, he did it!
I did do it.
I'm excited.
Because, you know, this is one of those ones where
divisional game.
It's a divisional game, and neither defense looked encouraging, and both offenses looked encouraging. And, you know, I don't know how good the Steelers' defense is, but the Steelers' defense has generally been a good defense, you know, around the years. Obviously, they changed up their secondary a little bit. They got rid of Minka. They brought in
old men.
Yeah, they brought in Darius Slay, and they brought in
Jalen
Ramsey. So their defense isn't quite as good. Well, their secondary isn't quite as good, but they still have T.J. Watt. They still have the pass rush. I think that they'll be able to make a couple plays, but at the end of the day, neither defense looked encouraging. Both offenses looked encouraging. And that's not saying that I think the Jets will win the game. But I do not think that they will lose by 6.5. I think that this will be a closer game than that. I was highly encouraged by what I saw from the Jets.
I hear you. I think that at a certain point, I think you're putting a lot on Justin Fields if that defense isn't going to defense. And it's not even like an anti-Fields thing. It's just I think week one with the fact that Fields has never had I'm trying to think. No, he's never had a running back like Bryce Hall. I do think there will be an adjustment period to that. I'm kind of, hey, look, if the Ravens gashed them, and that's kind of who they're trying to emulate, there's a very strong possibility they could gash them. There's also a possibility that the Bills now have seen that in a week, and they'll be a little more prepared for that dual running back thing that the Jets are going to use to really catch people off guard.
But you still have the personnel and the ability to stop it.
That's true, and I honestly, I hear you. I just think they're the Jets, and I think that the week one, it's going to be interesting because I've never done previews before. So how long will this facade of we're a good team last? We're a good team that couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers and let up 4 touchdowns to him and no turnovers. But we know Aaron Rodgers sucks. But we're a good team. So it's like, how long can you continue to pull that off? If they pull that off this week, they could lose by 4. I'm not going to say that's ridiculous. Yeah. I am happy you did that, though, because I need us to have different picks at some point.
Yeah.
And I do think that Josh Allen is in a mode right now that he didn't leave after last year. Just got married. I don't know. And the way he played, even though, yes, the Ravens collapsed, he was in a mode that you're yelling at the Ravens like, yo, you're not stopping this guy.
Yeah.
It's like, so you got to do something. I think if you put Justin Fields in that mode early, and it's not even going to be his fault, but I just think that the Bills right now kind of are a machine. And the Jets defense, you could argue, is one of the worst in week one. You got it. Like the Steelers, bro. Rodgers and the Steelers, bro. You can't let up 34 to that. But it's a divisional game, so we'll see. And Aaron Glenn's a defensive coordinator, but that's like tons of red flags to me.
Yeah.
Tons of red flags to me. But, hey, look, we'll see. I'm not dissing the pick. I understand it. You're a divisional guy. You're a Justin Fields guy. I'm just happy you did it because I need to hopefully catch up here down these 3 games. Seahawks going to the Steelers. This is tough. Sam Darnold did nothing for the Seahawks in week 1, losing to the 49ers 17-13, opening day at home. He did one thing. He threw it to JSN, but that is about all. Meanwhile, Rodgers went out, got revenge, a strange revenge over the Jets, even though the Jets gave him everything he wanted. He still wanted revenge, damn it, and he got that revenge. You didn't trade Mike Williams as soon as I wanted you to, I guess. I don't know. They actually traded him the second that he asked. And they fired the dude when they asked him to fire him, and they hired Alan Lazard and their offensive coordinator, Nat Hackett. Anywho, that Rodgers is back. He's at home. He's fueled by anger and I told you so's, and I still got it.
Yeah.
And so, Tony the Tiger, I'm asking Seahawks traveling to the Steelers. Steelers -3. Who you got?
Let's see. Go with Seattle. I think Seattle. I think Seattle's gonna cover the spread. I think the defense that Seattle has is pretty. They have a really good defense, and they were able to maintain against the 49ers. The 49ers, of course, wound up winning the game, but even though they don't have they did have to go against fucking a million Christian McCaffrey rushes and passes, and Christian McCaffrey was doing his thing, but he's going to do that for all of the games that he winds up playing for the most part. He's one of
all
the best
7 of them.
Exactly. And then George Kittle obviously was able to get it going, and I think
for a drive.
I think right now, yeah, he got the touchdown in that drive.
So he was like, "Oh, there's no smelling salts here. This shit's whack, cuz." So why am I doing this?
Bro's out for
why am I even here?
Bro's out for a month after they banned it. That is crazy. The George Kittle smelling salts thing is real.
Yeah. He told you.
He did.
It's like, that's the only reason I live.
Yeah.
For these goddamn smelling salts during the game. He's out for a month for life rediscovery.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Oh, Seahawks, Steelers, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro is definitely a drug addict. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I don't know how good, like we said, I just don't know what the Steelers defense got going on with them. You know, the Jets definitely did look really good against them. That's either the Jets offense is really good or the Steelers defense is really bad, and we're gonna figure out which one of them they are. So I picked the Jets to cover a spread because their offense looked really good.
Yeah.
And I'm picking the Steelers to lose a spread because their defense looked really bad. So I'm judging a lot based off that one game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find out which one of those things are true, at least.
Yeah.
So,
I respect it.
But the Seahawks definitely, like I said, their defense came to play against the 49ers until the very end. And, you know, there is talent there. Kenneth Walker wasn't able to do too much, but the 49ers is known for having a good D-line. So
last year, the 49ers were 22nd in the league in defense, scoring allowed.
Yeah, I think they're secondary outside of the safety, outside of Hufanga. Their secondary was never really too good. Was their pass rush really bad last year as well?
I don't know what happened, but yeah, the secondary is never that good. I think they just kind of they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, so we'll see what's up.
I think
regardless, I'm picking Seahawks.
Got you. I think neither one of those things you said matters. I think it was just a weird week 1. I think that the Steelers' offense is good, and I got the Steelers. The Darnold not doing anything thing is a concern to me.
Yeah,
because he did do something at the end where he fumbled the game away. So that tells me he fumbled the game away. By the way, no one got pressure.
Yeah,
I think this might be a TJ Watt game.
Could be.
That Seahawks defense was very good, but they weren't really playing anyone. They were playing a lot of Christian McCaffrey, but that's kind of it. I mean, DK Metcalf's out there. Oh, this is the DK revenge game too.
Oh yeah, true.
So DK's gonna be hyped up to play him. He's gonna want to go out there and kick their ass. I taking the Steelers, and honestly, this is tough, right? You're taking Rodgers after a win. He's hyped up. This could easily implode at any moment, and I'm aware of that. But that's something about the way Seattle lost that game was very concerning, because on the flip end of that, Geno Smith is out there throwing for 366.
Yeah, he ain't stopped doing what he did.
So it's like, I thought it was a lot of the structure of the team. Again, they don't have DK Metcalf on that team. That's what I thought it was, and that's why I thought, okay, so Seattle with Darnold, you know, hypothetically, Darnold just left the team where he's throwing the ball a lot. He'll come in here and still be. No, there was none of that carryover. He was really not doing shit. And I also think that the Steelers' offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, he was with the Falcons a couple years ago. We saw him for a little bit. We saw him, Justin Fields. They were 4-2, but he wanted to throw the ball more. He really does like passing it more than Justin Fields' running style. So make of that what you may. With Russell Wilson, they also had those games where they were explosive. Like, they were scoring 40 points on the Bengals with Russell Wilson. So I think that's going to be interesting because he's playing a defensive coach in McDonald. So there's a lot of components here, but I just think the Sam Darnold thing is too concerning for me to go on the road against the Steelers. I think that they have a lot of guys who can get cooked, but one thing Justin Fields was not doing was throwing interceptions. I think Sam Darnold, if it gets to a point in this game where they're still not moving the ball, I think he's going to start pressing. We've known him in the past to kind of have those implode tendencies. So I'm gonna take the Steelers, and it's Mike Tomlin, and hey, look, man. Suddenly, one weekend, it looks like, well, I guess the Bengals or the Steelers is making the playoffs, and I don't know who, but we do know that Mike Tomlin doesn't lose to bad teams, and Seattle is looking right down the barrel of being a bad team when you let go of a quarterback who threw for 360, and that was kind of the reason you won 10 games. You can blame him for the bad games, but those good games, he had those 300s. We were expecting Sam Darnold to do similar stuff, and he loses week 1 when the other quarterback has no weapons but still had more yards and touchdowns than him. That's not a good sign. I can't stress enough, Darnold wasn't doing anything. And it was different because the 4 o'clock hour, we're watching like, bro, he's not doing shit out here. And there's a bunch of quarterbacks not doing anything, but other teams like Rams, Texans, like Stroud was under heat. Stafford was under pressure. Those are great defenses. It wasn't like he was getting pressured. He just wasn't doing anything but looking for JSN. And that's another problem is he doesn't have an Addison, I guess you could say. He doesn't have even a Jettis. Sorry, JSN. He has an Addison. It's kind of JSN's in the middle of those two guys. But Cooper Kupp is on the other side. There's issues here. There's real concern. So I'm taking the Steelers.
I like it.
And I'm banking on Aaron Rodgers, and yes, that scares me. But I think he's just better than Sam Darnold right now, and that's saying a lot. I think O'Connell even showed with the JJ McCarthy thing. Like he's of that ilk of I can do this with. I am of McVay and Shanahan. He came from them. He came from their lineage.
Okay.
I think he was coaching with the 49ers, if I remember correctly. One of those two. LaFleur is with them as well. All those guys.
Okay.
So
all the good teams.
Yeah. So with Darnold away from